What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today is a Wednesday, and you know what Wednesday is? Wednesday is test and tune day. Look what we're taking. We're gonna take the old Danger Ranger. I don't know why I called it that, because everybody calls the Rangers Danger Rangers. This is a Project Gold Dust, and we are gonna take this to US 36 today to do some test and tune with this and Garrett's Nova. So sit back, we're gonna hit the road. We'll head up there and do a little testing. All right, so we made it. We are going to, gotta get my aminos out here. My energy drinks for later. And my mess, my dinner on the road here. Anyways, we just got here. We're gonna get our tech cards filled out and we're gonna get the cards unloaded. And we'll go up and try and make a pass. All right, guys, we're getting ready to go up for our first pass in the Ranger. One of my GoPros is dead, so this is going to be kind of difficult. Hopefully it's a good view. We'll see what happens. I'm trying to put some coolant temp in it first, and we'll just go up. Give her the old beans. Just haze the tires. Lazy on the launch because there's no converter, so it's just you know, it is what it is. What happens when you try and roll a stock converter. Thanks, sir. I can't even see what it says. 790. I think that's about as good as it's gonna get, because the 60 foot's just not there. But it trapped 96 mile an hour, so shows the power's there. It's just all on the 60 foot. 790. All right, guys, we're gonna go up for pass number 2. First pass one is 790 at 96. Didn't change anything, just gonna try and rev it out a little higher. See what happens. can't get it to leave. I think that's going to be it for that. That's the biggest downfall. 790 at 97 mile an hour. Alright, so made a couple passes in the Ranger, nothing fancy. A couple 790 passes, and we just can't get to 60 foot with a stock converter, so we're going to watch the Nova run. Probably. But
I'll take one with the GoPro, and then I'll walk down here and record your second pass.
that's fine.
My cup holders are good.
Alright, here we go. Best pass so far tonight's been a 650. Having trouble with the track. Hopefully it doesn't stand on the bumper. Let her get. That was a good one. Sounded like it was in second gear. 640, 107. Bumped it up. I put a 10-pound spring in it. We'll make a lick and see what happens. My IATs are getting a little warmer than I want, but I mean, it's to be expected. Flat-foot it, see what happens. Sounds good. Thanks, sir. $780. 100 mile an hour on the dot. Alright, so I'm gonna stand off so I can talk and you can hear me. So our passes at the track weren't quite as good as I wanted them to be. The truck ended up running a 776. Oh hey, there's my handle I was looking for. I lost my GoPro handle just a minute ago. Anyways, my time slips, whatever I just did with them. I made 4 passes. One of which I think I lost the time slip, but anyways, out of the 4 passes, we ran 2 790s. I believe this is the second pass, but yeah, 2 160 foots, 540 and a 330, and then 790. It's not horrible, but it's not quite as good as I want it to be, mainly because I know the truck makes power. But really it's all in the 60 foot. We got to get the 60 foot down to like a 1.7 if we can. And the second pass, like I said, was a 790. Third pass, This was, both the 790 passes were actually on a 7.5 pound wastegate spring. Then I ended up bumping it up to a 10 pound wastegate spring, and then it went 784 at 100 mile an hour. So we picked up like 3.5 mile an hour on that pass. 60 foot still a 2.1. 330 was a 530. So it got a little bit better than the 330, but not much. And then the last pass was a 776 at 99.5. So we're gonna say 100 mile an hour. 60 foot still a 2.1. So I mean, it's just all around crap. But the truck's got a stock torque converter in it, and that's the big factor here. There's a lot of budget converters out there, but they're still like $400, $500, for a good one. And I just don't feel like doing that. But with that being said, we came home. Here it is, the start of the following week. And I got the truck up on jack stands. And this can only mean one thing. I ended up buying a Renegade torque converter. I'm pretty sure Boss Hog makes them, or ACC makes it. It's basically like a Boss Hog, I think Street Bandit is what it is. A 10.5 or 10-inch converter. It's like a 2800 to 3200 stall. They rate them at like 600 horsepower. I don't know how much I trust that. But mainly I just want to be able to foot brake this a little bit higher, because on the stock converter, I mean, you couldn't stall it up to like 1,000 RPM because it would just spin the tire at the light. So we're gonna pull the tranny out of it, and we're gonna swap converters, and hopefully we'll be able to go to the track here in the next day or so if the weather holds out, because it started raining the last 2 days. But I'm gonna get this tranny out, get the converter swapped out. I need to reseal the wheel or the trans pan and stuff on it too. But we'll get this out and we'll get this going. All right, so we got the trans unbolted, dropped down. I can't get the dang trans out from underneath the truck because it's on the trans jack, and I'm not quite as young as I used to be, so I won't be picking this up and setting it on my chest and then dropping it on the floor. No, thank you. So I wanted to reseal the pan, so I may end up just putting it back up in the truck and then resealing the pan after I get it bolted back up in there. As much as I don't want to do that, unless I can get old Troy boy to come over here and help me drop this tranny off this jack. But I gotta get underneath here and make sure the bolt pattern on this flex plate will mate up to the new converter. But anyways, old and busted. This is a big stock Turbo 400 converter, and it's, like I said, big as hell. And then we opted for a Renegade 381102. It's a 2800 to 3200 stall. I believe Boss Hog makes these, or the ACC, I think it's the company's called. Let me set this down here real quick. But anyways, this is the new one. So we're going from like a monstrosity of a converter, this thing, to this guy here. It's kind of hard to see on the black here, but this one I believe is considered a 10-inch converter, and this one is all of it, like a 12-inch, or hell, I don't even know. I'm gonna make sure the bolt pattern for the flex plate's right, and then we'll try and set this converter in the tranny, make sure it locks in place, and then we'll try and set it up in the truck and hopefully start going back together, and then we'll try a new converter. What is up? So gotta put my headlight back in, because we went and race trucked US 36. I'm gonna put the headlight back in. We got the transmission out, back in, everything's filled up, tightened up. Now I just gotta pick up all the tools, and then I still have to finish one of the breather lines off this valve cover over to catch can here. I already got the passenger side one done. I still gotta weld the fitting in that valve cover, and then my breather setup will be a lot better off than it was. And then I still got to put an overflow tank for the radiator, because right now it's just a hose dumping on the ground. That's probably half the reason why the truck gets a little warm. Once I'm beating on it, it's probably pushing the radiator cap open and sucking air in the cooling system. But I'm gonna get all the tools picked up, get it set back down on the ground. I'll start it up, and then we'll put it in gear and see what this new converter's like. Sweet. We today are doing something a little fun. It's kind of spur of the moment, but since we got the Ranger up and running, I figured, what the hell, let's go take this, put this on the dyno. I'm not gonna do any tuning, just get that straight. I'm gonna let the Holly do everything. And but anyways, we're gonna take the Ranger and we're gonna go throw it up on the dyno over at my buddy's shop that he tunes at in Bonner Springs, Kansas. It's LSX Killer. And we're gonna take the old Ranger out there. It's got a 10-pound wastegate spring in it, and I think we're just gonna do 2 or 3 pulls, just see what the baseline's at. Like I said, not gonna do any tuning. I don't have the time or the money for that, so we're just gonna put it up on there with the Holly tune that I've got set up in this thing. Obviously it'll learn and correct and do what it needs to, but the base file that I've got in it and the timing tables and stuff should be pretty conservative. The truck's on E30, and yeah, so we're gonna run out there. We're gonna make a couple pulls, so we'll hit the road. All right, we got her strapped down. He's probably gonna put a little heat in it, and I think he's gonna make a second gear pull, mainly because we don't really know about the drive shaft. So we'll make a second gear hit, see what it makes. Hopefully it doesn't break up, and hopefully the fueling's good. I guess we'll find out. So we made a pull in second, pissed the dyno off, didn't like it, so he's gonna try and make a third gear pull. The truck just lights too fast. Cutting out, the fueling's not right. Something's not right. All right, so that was first pull was second gear. Dyno freaked out. Second pull was a third gear pull. I think we're running out of turbo. It kind of sounds like it wants to like it's just running out of steam a little bit at high RPM, loaded up in third gear. But we're gonna try and make one more pull. I pulled the air filter off of it, make sure I wasn't sucking the coupler closed on the inlet filter. But it made 638, or not 638, sorry, 438, 617 on that pull. So we're gonna make one more pull and see what it makes. That was down a little bit. was loud. That one sounded a little better. Maybe the fueling's cleaning up a little bit. But we'll see what it made. All right, so on that pull, it made 445, basically 446, and then it shows like 609 torque, but it freaks the dyno out because the turbo lights so fast that like the torque number's really weird. But yeah, here down here you can see if I can get it to 445.9. But yeah, you can see the torque curve just freaks out and goes flat for about 1,000 RPM or about 500, 600 RPM. But, you know, that's over 600 torque on the Dynamite dyno. And they've said this thing reads, you know, about 18% low over a dyno jet. But anyways, 445. I think this one, like I said, 609 torque, 10 pounds. We'll live with it there.